It's another check even for me, right? I'm not just saying it just to be giving people this information. How you do something matters. I taught a 7-week hot summer reset course last summer. And one of the nuggets that I taught the students was this. We understand the principle, the sowing and reaping principle, right? And we understand a lot of times we always apply that to a seed. Or we can just consider gardening, planting, right? In Genesis, it says that the seed produces after its own kind. We have to remember that whatever we are planting, whatever we are sowing, okay? So if we're sowing pureness, goodness, joy, laughter, abundance, greatness, education, whatever that is what's in that seed. How we sow those seeds is also in that seed. So when people wonder why they're reaping certain things that they feel as though they don't deserve, all you have to do is ask yourself, what has been in the seed that I've sown? So if you sow, so you know how somebody says, oh, I did this favor for this person, but they did it with like an envious heart. Their heart posture wasn't right. So yeah, they did the act, right? But they didn't do it with the right heart posture. What that person gets in return is what came inside that seed in totality, and it's multiplied. We know that when we sow the seed into the ground, you do not reap the seed back, right? You reap what's inside the seed. So if you sow a seed, an apple seed, into the ground, you're not going to get one apple, right? You're going to get an apple tree that produces you hundreds of apples, right? Okay, so it's the same thing like in life. We are operating in this principle of sowing and reaping, whether we are doing it intentionally or not. Every time you speak ill, you gossip, you tear down, you speak death over someone's life. And when I say death, I'm not always talking necessarily saying I wish them dead, right? But it's just speaking little about someone, tearing them down, breaking them down, speaking less than you should. Because remember, they are still a child of God, and everything that God has created is done perfectly, okay? So if we are doing these things, we have to remember, these seeds are being sown. And they're going to fall in our soil first because we're the ones speaking. The seeds are coming right out of our mouths, right? When we start to reap the challenges and the issues and all the things, we have to remember, not only is that seed coming back to me, it's coming back multiplied. More than we can even ask or think. A lot of people love when the scripture says, pressed down, shaken together, runneth over, right? Everybody wants their blessings to come back that way, right? Everybody wants their finances to come back that way. But nobody wants that same approach to be given to them when they sow things that are not good, that are negative, that they know they should not have done or said or thought or whatever, right? And this is something that when God brought to my attention, again, it's another check even for me, right? I'm not just saying it just to be giving people this information. When I started to understand that, I started to change my language. I started to change how I treated others, even if they got on my last nerve, okay? I started to change how I started to show up because I started to have a better understanding of that sowing and reaping principle. And because it's always in motion, whether we are activating it or not, intentionally activating it or not, it is always in motion. So we have to remember that if I want to reap a harvest of fruit that is juicy and good and abundant, then I got to make sure that my seed is also rich and good and abundant. I have to make sure that I watch over my mouth, that I allow God to give me the mind like him, that I allow him to be my mouthpiece so that I'm speaking what he would have me speak and not what my flesh wants to speak. Okay? I hope you guys get this. I love you. I'll talk to y'all later.